We've had some commenters wanting a video on the Near protocol, so in this video, I'm just gonna go ahead and cover it. By the way, if you ever want to see a coin or a token or even a crypto idea on our channel, just drop a comment below, because even though we've been growing like crazy, we keep an eye on all the comments. Welcome to Whiteboard Crypto, the #1 YouTube channel for crypto education, and here we explain topics of the cryptocurrency world using analogies, stories, and examples so that you can easily understand them. In this video, we are going to explain what the Near protocol is, how it got started, what makes it different, and as always, we're going to end with specific tokenomics that you could use to make a price prediction with. First of all, let's dive into the two initial developers of the Near protocol, Alex and Ilya. Alex was initially a Microsoft software developer and somewhat reminds me of Ethereum's founder, Vitalik Buterin. Ilya was actually an engineering manager at Google Research at one point, so starting off, we have some very bright minds on this project. The next thing you need to know is that they were actually helped through the venture capitalist program called Y Combinator. Long story short, they raised around $50 million in 2 private funding deals in the first 4 months without even having anything built. They also did this in a bear market, so they're probably onto something special, right? Well, according to Near's website, they say the Near Collective, which is what they call themselves, is basically building the infrastructure for a new internet, which makes it harder for giant companies to steal your data and for bad guy countries to shut it down. To me, it's interesting that they're trying to replace the entire internet, but let's take a look at what that means on the technical side of the network. First off, their consensus mechanism. Near is a blockchain that uses the delegated proof-of-stake consensus mechanism. If you don't know what proof-of-stake is, we've covered it extensively in 2 of our other videos. The delegated part basically means if you don't have the coins or computer parts to set up your own validator node, you basically lend your coins to someone else who can. Their specific proof-of-stake protocol is called Doomslug. Now, Doomslug is a pretty cool name for the way that Near produces blocks. In their own words, because I couldn't really find a way to summarize them, Doomslug allows us to achieve some sense of practical finality after just 1 round of communication. This means instead of waiting for 35 extra blocks like you do in Ethereum, you just have to wait for 1. It's really quite technical and has a few other benefits, but we'd have to get into explaining practical fault Byzantine tolerance models, and just to be honest, I don't fully understand them yet, so you'll have to wait for our video on that. The next thing I want to talk about is their sharding mechanism called Nightshade. Instead of using side chains like many other blockchains to be able to process blocks faster, Near has their own mechanism where they use shards, and the main blockchain has snapshots of all of these shards. If you have no idea what shards are, we actually have an entire video on what sharding is, including a few fun examples. In fact, Ethereum 2.0 is supposedly going to be using sharding, but the Near protocol already has it, and because of this, they can process around 100,000 transactions per second. One of the unique things Nightshade has is that each shard only has 100 seats. Each seat allows you to be a validator, and the cost to be a validator rises as more people join the shard. This is so that more shards are created at the time that they are needed. So when the network needs more shards because it's getting congested, new validators are actually incentivized to create a new shard. Delegation also happens within these many blockchain shards. Next up, let's talk about something important. One thing to break the technicality of it all is that Near actually has human-readable addresses by default. Basically, this means we can have an address like whiteboardcrypto.near. Now, Ethereum has something similar. For example, we actually own whiteboardcrypto.eth, but we had to set it up and pay like $60 to reserve it, while Near automatically gave us whiteboardcrypto.near. This is a big deal when it comes to getting our grandmas and grandpas onto the crypto train. Next up, let's talk about guilds, because probably my favorite thing about the Near protocol is the idea of guilds. So guilds are basically groups of people that do things for Near. If you don't know what a DAO is, definitely check out our amazing video on it. But a DAO is a decentralized company where you don't need a president or a CEO to make decisions. Instead, decisions are made by token holders. The more tokens you have, the more voting power you have. In Near, guilds are like different departments of a company, where you have the marketing department, the HR department, the accounting department, and groups of people can join to help out the protocol. Right now, the Near Foundation is a little centralized by having 4 board members. Although this is technically equivalent to Ethereum's board, but the goal is to hand the keys of the Near Kingdom over to the users by using DAOs, decentralized governance, and ideas like guilds one day in the future. The analogy I have heard is that the Foundation is like a space shuttle, where the guilds and the idea of DAOs is what it is carrying. They can't get out of the atmosphere by themselves, but with the help of another entity they can. And after they get out of the atmosphere, they de-dock and leave the payload off to itself. In this analogy, the payload is the Near community. One of the last things I wanted to explain is their Aurora system. So you know how Matic is a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum? Where Matic is basically cheaper, faster, but a little more centralized, but you use it anyway because Ethereum gas fees have been ridiculous. Well, Aurora is kinda a layer 2 scaling solution for the Near protocol, except it is a little different. For starters, Aurora was created with the EVM in mind, meaning it is pretty much a copy of the Ethereum virtual machine. What this means for you is that developers can easily copy and paste their Ethereum applications onto the Aurora network with ease. Also, I don't completely understand it, but Aurora is implemented as a smart contract on the main Near chain, and somehow has their finality on the original Near chain, and also can tap into the sharding mechanism to have a really good horizontal scaling ability. Wrapping it all up, the idea of Doomslug and Nightshade and Aurora may deserve their own videos. So if you're interested, make sure to hit that subscription button so that you get notified of our new videos and as a way to reward our hard work. Also, I need to make a quick mention in here about the Rainbow Bridge. So to move from the main chain to the Aurora network, Near created a blockchain bridge they call the Rainbow Bridge. Now, you can currently move your Ethereum back and forth, but the developers are planning on allowing other chain transfers in the future, like Binance Smart Chain, Matic, Phantom, you know, all the other Ethereum lookalikes. Lastly, let's get into the tokenomics of the Near coin. It's pretty basic from here and follows many different coins that we have explained. Near is inflationary, with extra tokens coming from around the 5% staking rewards process. Also, Near is a governance token, meaning that new ideas are proposed and voted on by coin holders, as I hinted in the guild section. Lastly, many of the early investors are subject to a locked time period, meaning that they are only allowed to sell or transfer their coins after a certain date. What this means for you is to keep an eye out for those dates, as many investors like to sell a portion of their coins to cash to get back their initial investment. Also, I should mention that investors like Coinbase and Andreessen Horowitz back the Near protocol, so it's always good to see big names like this in a project. Before we end this video, we want to let you know that our DeFi for Beginners guide is receiving crazy feedback. Everyone is loving it. So if you haven't yet, check it out. It's absolutely free. You can go to whiteboardcrypto.com and learn about making money on the blockchain using our clear, concise guide that we've put together using custom artwork, fun stories, and our famous simple explanations. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. We hope that you enjoyed this video. We really hope that you've learned something, and most of all, we hope to see you in our next videos.